My name is Brian Neal. I'm originally from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I came on this trip from Shorter College.
That experience.
This experience has been a real eye-opener for me. I think that I went through the civil rights movement boot camp this weekend. The Social Justice Museum. Actually, for me it hit personally to me because I potentially might have an ancestor that's there. I did a social justice project at Shorter College for Reverend Henderson's class, and I was able to trace my family back to 1836. And it was a story passed down the line in my family about Uncle Richard. He was my grandfather's brother, my great-grandfather's brother. And the story was that he left and went to Memphis to look for a job. So when I was going through the social justice museum or whatever, I saw Shelby County, Tennessee, and I saw Richard Neal there. It was kind of ironic. It's because when I walked into the museum, I felt emotional, already from the magnitude of the museum. And I walked, looked around, and then something told me to look at Tennessee Shelby County because we never knew what actually happened to him. It was just like in the story, he left to find a job, but he never returned. He didn't have any children or anything like that. So when I looked at the monument with the names on it, my heart started beating fast, and I looked right at that name, and it was almost an overwhelming effect. It's because it was like, I don't know how to tear up because you never have a real personal relationship. It's because I've never known them in my lifetime, but it was kind of like I kind of felt connected to that type of struggle in a personal way. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But
I can't understand you're a historian, so this is your first time? Is this your first time coming to Alabama?
This is my first time coming to Alabama. Alabama is the mecca of the civil rights movement to me. A lot of incidents that happened in the civil rights movement happened here. Alabama and the South in general is rich in civil rights history, even though the civil rights movement has been going on a long time before Dr. King. But I think that the South, places like Alabama and Mississippi, but especially Alabama, a lot of incidents actually happen, and I think that every African American should take a pilgrimage to Alabama.
The Arkansas Martin Luther King Jr. Commission delegates were not allowed to take video on site at the National Memorial for Peace and Justice. Nonetheless, their reactions to viewing compelling images that paid tribute to the thousands of victims of lynchings were very emotional.
I'm Courtney Williams, and the reaction was overwhelming. It was a lot of individuals that were lynched for what they call reasons, but I would call excuses. Some were just because they were living together with someone of the opposite race, and because they might have said a bad word, which are just things that should have never been allowed to occur in our country at all.
You know, this was quite a humbling experience. I guess it was an eye-opening experience to be able to go through this. Never been through this before, and just kind of learning about bits of history and that are the hard facts, the hard truth of what happened in this country and in all of our states, and that. So I'm glad I went through it. Very sad after going through it, but. Hopefully, as I said, this is part of the education, and hopefully we can all change.
My name is Scalia Griffin, and I thought about this. It was very depressing. I got to learn like stuff that I thought I would never learn. I learned about Anthony Crawford, how that he got hanged and he got shot for 200 times for no reason because he had wanted his right change for his right concede. I saw some more of Martin Luther King, his speeches, the stuff that he did. I learned that people of color, they basically got leashed for no reason. They could just get leashed for like simple little things, and it was unnecessary. It was not right, and that's what I learned.
My name is Linda Armour. I am from Lake Village, Arkansas, Lakeside High School. I just came out of the National Memorial here for Peace and Justice. And right now I'm sitting here not because of the lengthy exhibit, but I just feel overwhelmed on what I've just seen. I had no idea of the magnitude of what went on as far as the lynching back years and years ago. I never even thought about the magnitude of all of the lynching from the different counties. I was able to go to my county, even Chico County, and I looked at all of the other counties. I read about why the lynching, the reasons for a lot of the lynching, and it was just useless. It was just minor. All I can say right now is that I feel just overwhelmed about what I've just seen. But on the back side, we were able to find a lot of the counties from Arkansas, and I was able to find our county, Chico County, and some of the names looked very familiar. I know some of the families with those last names. In fact, one close to my family, and I'm anxious to go back and do a little bit more research on this to see if it had any kinship in my family. But like I said, it was just overwhelming of all of the lynching, the magnitude. I never believed it was to that magnitude.
Are these your students?
My student is, I have two students, Dexter, not Dexter, Kamarius. Come sit over here, Kamarius.
Okay, let me ask you this. So for the time, come on in, Kamarius.
He stuck with me and we went through this together and viewed all this together. In fact, he found the county of his father in Louisiana Parish. Is that right?
West Carroll Parish.
So let me ask y'all this. Is this the first time that y'all had ever heard that there were lynchings in your county? Had you heard of things that had happened? Or is this the first time?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Well, I knew of, going through history. I knew of some of the lynchings. But like I said, I just never thought it was just, so many, even in the surrounding counties. I mean, on one we saw 18. We read about the reasons why they were lynched. Some just for the reasons of writing a note to another white person.
I think that probably for some, especially in some parts of our state, I think that is still there. Probably those thoughts are probably still there about things. I would like to hope to believe that we've come a long way about that. But I think that in some parts we still got a ways to go, and I think that these things that like what we just talked about, the way of lynching and other stuff, I think that there's an attitude and a mentality that may still permeate, and that's still a huge problem. It's something we need to work through.
Very bad because all those people got hanged because they wanted freedom, and most of the people was trying to protect themselves and protect others, but the white people thought it was bad, and so some of them that hanged them, then they were stabbing, killing, and doing all gruesome stuff to black people.